They say there was a man who tricked the devil himself, but neither heaven nor hell would take him. Since that night, he's wandered the dark with a lantern in hand. Do you want to know why his soul still roams the earth? In the misty, wind-swept villages of 18th century Ireland, where green hills met dark, bogs and tales of fairies and spirits were part of everyday life, there lived a man named Stingy Jack. Some called him Lazy Jack, or Jack the Trickster, a poor blacksmith and a drunkard who spent most of his days in the local taverns. Jack was not only miserly, unwilling to spend even a single penny twice, but also a master of deceit and trickery. His neighbors avoided him, for Jack always found a way to cheat them, from rigged bets to lies that ruined lives. But Jack's greatest tricks were the ones that fooled the devil himself, and those very deeds would make his name an eternal symbol of Halloween. Imagine a rainy autumn night when yellow leaves crunched beneath the feet of passers-by and a thick fog blanketed the village. Jack, drunk and staggering, stumbled out of the tavern and came face to face with the devil himself, who appeared as an ordinary man dressed in black. The devil had come to claim Jack's soul, for his sins, theft, deceit, and cruelty toward the poor had made him worthy of hell. But Jack, with his wicked cunning, said, "Before you take me, let's share one last drink. Don't they always grant a condemned man his final wish?" The devil, amused by Jack's confidence, agreed. They went back into the tavern and drank together. But when it came time to pay the bill, Jack shrugged and said, "I've got no money. You're powerful. Turn yourself into a coin so I can pay. Then you can change back." The devil, wanting to show off his power, turned into a golden coin, quick as lightning. Jack snatched the coin and slipped it into his pocket, where he kept a small silver cross, whose holy power trapped the devil and prevented him from changing back. Jack laughed and said, "Now promise you won't take my soul for another year, or you'll stay in there forever." Furious but helpless, the devil agreed, and Jack set him free. A year passed, and Jack went on with his life of tricks and drinking. He once tricked a farmer into selling his crops for almost nothing, and bankrupted another man in a rigged game of cards. But the devil hadn't forgotten. Exactly 1 year later, on the same chilly autumn night, the devil appeared again. Jack, now older and slyer, said, "All right then, take me, but let me have one last meal. I just want a fresh apple from that tree." The devil, thinking he was in control this time, agreed and even offered to climb the tree himself to fetch the apple. But as soon as he did, Jack pulled out his knife and carved several crosses into the tree trunk, trapping the devil once again, for he could not pass the holy symbols. Jack shouted, "This time I've got a better deal. Swear you'll never take my soul to hell, or you'll stay up there forever." Shaking with rage, the devil had no choice but to swear the oath. Jack then wiped away the crosses, and the devil vanished, but not before muttering a curse under his breath. "One day you'll regret this." Time passed, and Jack grew old and sick. At last, on a cold Samhain night, the ancient Celtic festival when the veil between the living and the dead grows thin, death came for him. Jack went to the gates of heaven, where St. Peter stood guard. But the angels, with sorrowful eyes, said, "Jack, you spent your life in deceit, greed, and sin. There is no place for you in heaven. Leave." Desperate, Jack turned and walked toward hell. At the fiery gates, the devil was waiting, grinning wickedly. "Remember the deal you made, Jack?" he sneered. "You swore your soul would never be mine. Now you have no heaven and no hell. Wander forever in the darkness." Jack begged, "At least give me a light to find my way. The night is cold, and the bogs are treacherous." To mock him, the devil picked up a glowing ember from the flames of hell and tossed it to him, saying, "Take this and be gone, but know that this faint light will be your only companion for eternity." Jack, who always carried a large turnip with him, Because it was cheap and the food of the poor, hollowed it out, placed the burning coal inside, and turned it into a simple lantern. The lantern cast a flickering, trembling light, just bright enough to show him the next step on his endless journey. From that night on, Jack was cursed to wander forever between the worlds of the living and the dead, accepted by neither heaven nor hell. The people of Ireland, when they saw faint, flickering lights over the marshes, which were actually swamp gases known as will-o'-the-wisps, would whisper, "That Stingy Jack wandering with his lantern. Beware, he's still a trickster." This natural phenomenon, those eerie blue lights dancing over the bogs, became forever linked to Jack's legend, and people came to believe that his restless spirit still roams the earth, searching for peace. To ward off Jack's spirit and other evil, ghosts on the night of Samhain, which later became Halloween, the Irish began carving turnips. They would carve frightening faces into the turnips, place a candle or burning coal inside, and set them on their doorsteps to scare away wandering spirits. This practice was part of the Samhain festival, when people believed that the souls of the dead returned to the world of the living. But in the 19th century, when millions of Irish emigrated to America during the Great Famine, 1849, the small, hard turnips were replaced by the large, bright orange pumpkins of the New World. Pumpkins were not only easier to carve, but their warm orange glow matched the autumn leaves and made the candlelight inside appear even more haunting. And so, Jack-o'-lantern, became the global symbol of Halloween. Today, when you carve your pumpkin on the night of October 31st and place a flickering candle inside, you are unknowingly reaching back thousands of years to those misty Irish bogs where Stingy Jack wandered forever. Yet beneath this joyful and colorful modern custom lies a moral lesson. Greed and deceit may serve you in life, but in death, they bring only eternal darkness. And perhaps on a cold Halloween night, when the lanterns flicker in the wind, Jack's spirit still roams the earth, waiting for one more trick. So beware if you ever see a faint, trembling light in a marsh. Don't follow it, for it might be Stingy Jack whispering, "Come on, have one last drink with me." Tonight, when you light your pumpkin lantern, remember, every flame casts a shadow, and somewhere between the dark and the glow, Jack's spirit may still be waiting for one last trick. If you hear his whisper in the wind, like, comment, and subscribe, for in the next tale, he might just appear to you. Hide your pumpkins. Jack is hunting in the dark for the biggest one. Then he comes for you.